I like.
That's clean.
That's clean. Look how hard I just want to see.
BAU episode 41.
Ain't it 42?
Nah, because 41 went D they.
Oh.
I'm gonna repurpose that one.
Yeah.
As a little throwaway episode.
Yeah. Well,
so episode
that one
41
stays in the can.
Stays where it needs to be. The Banakayra Tower. Over there. For health and safety.
Hey.
Alright. Now we healthy and safety. Coda.
Without further ado, it's your boy Rakim. That's Divya. And that's it. No more AKAs. I think that I got one cool introduction. But guys, episode 40. It's kind of crazy how we got to 40.
Hold
Since he doesn't want to do the introduction, I'm going to do the introduction for him. BAU 24/7. It's your boy Rakim. Adil over here. Or should I say House of Adil? Oh, House of Adil.
House of Adil, aka me.
No. I know that I am him. Not you, but you know what I mean? So for deal. Hey there, throw me the alley.
Oh, forget it now.
No.
On this episode, in this episode, we discuss.
Hey, where's the energy? Where's the? I want some.
Forget it.
I want this energy.
This is why I should put my phone on like flight mode or something. Because
Okay.
as soon as you get a text, now you got to think about that text. Anywho, the episode that we are dealing with today is how society failed men. Squeeze me. Which gives us the result of men hating women, hating themselves, hating each other. Just haters. Haters are bred from people that feel lost or feel like they're losing.
Did you say man hating women, Battery?
Men hating, they hate women.
And women hating men. How society
failed men, and the result of that has become that you get. No, don't worry. At some point, you'll join us, and then we can carry on the podcast.
I'll try.
No, I'm joking. So what that does is it breeds men that are. Because when you see a lot of haters and you see a lot of men behave in a certain way or have certain attitudes, it comes from somewhere. It's bred from something, right? It's not something that's coming out of the blue. Because every action has a reaction, right? So this is the reaction of, I believe, men are into, like, if you look at today's 2023, we're around the corner, right? What do you class as a man in today's society? Because if you just think about just the word man today, there's so many things you're not allowed to say. There's so many things you're not allowed to do or think or behave.
Elaborate. Okay, let's start off with like the things that you're not allowed to say.
Yeah, but if I say what I'm not allowed to say, then, you know what I mean? That's when they cancel you there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, so my point is this. Right? You get people saying, yo, it's all women's fault, so there's people fighting the whole women thing. Then there's guys fighting Illuminati and like the Kuasa and Awala. Then there's people fighting each other and saying men are haters and hating each other and then whatever that. So it's almost like it's all the same fight but different angles. Does that make sense? And what I'm trying to say here is, I believe that there is some sort of a weird thing going on over the past however many years where raga are being shown more and more in this weird light of like just being bad all the time. I don't mind a funny comedy or a certain cartoon series. But you can't tell me every single father in any movie or any series or show or cartoon or whatever is always some dopey dandan or dandaya. You know what I'm saying? How many dandan men are out here? Come on. So that leaves a lot of boys in a situation where they're growing up to either they blame someone for that, right? Who do you blame for that? If this kid grows up without his dad because his dad is in jail, whose fault is that? If this kid grows up without his dad because his mom divorced the dad, whose fault is that? And I'm not saying that it's the woman's fault. I'm not saying it's the man's fault. But what I'm saying is it's leaving a bunch of kids in these streets today without male figures, without father figures. And what's happening is when you see men saying, or like there's this phrase that they use, toxic
all men is trash.
Not even that. No? Toxic men. All men have this mindset of F all women, and it's all women is always the problem, and you have to treat them like second-class citizens, whatever. I know the thing that's the problem with that is that's not true. They're human, just like you and just like everybody else.
So
this guy's throwing me off, man.
They're all human, of course, and
they're human. So it's
human.
not anymore for a guy today to go, it's all women's fault, or it's a woman's fault that this and that is happening. It doesn't make sense. It's not the woman's fault. It's not. I just think one thing I've noticed is this. Let me put it like this, right? One thing I've noticed is over the past however many years, I've seen a lot of shows and a lot of series where the guy is always being
portrayed as the bad.
Not even the bad guy,
but
he's
being
Well,
give me an example of some of the shows that you've.
I forget the name of the show, the one we were just talking about now before the cameras turned on. What was that?
I forgot the name, but we know the anthem probably.
Man said the anthem. Al Bundy. If you're old enough to know, they can look it up. Al Bundy. I forget what it's called. Something to do with marriage. I think married with kids or something. I forget what it was called. But that was one of the first times where I clocked, why a nigga low bahdile like that? Somehow.
Like crazy. I'll give you another one.
Married with children, Balena. There it is. Look up Married with Children.
Do you remember 2.5 Men?
Yeah.
The comedy. Initially, not the Charlie, but the other one. What was his name? Alan? I think his name was Alan. It's like he gets portrayed as the typical so-called dandan. You've seen him there.
Can I show you that?
Alan, Alan, not Charlie, not the one with the...
He's the miskin.
Don't know how to get women like that. Kankalana, he's got all the women.
Good thing that you actually said that. Where is the balance between either you got a guy who's super cool, who's this there, get all the girls, womanizer, or you get the one completely on the opposite end, which is this bat who can barely walk straight, so it's like, where's the middle ground between these two characters? And that's a whole nother problem, because one thing is either handicap, but on the other end, they're too much that side there. They're too much this side. Where, on average, most human beings today are somewhere in the middle, right? They calm and they have families and they're calm. But in the story that's being pushed is that there is either these tough other guys, and you have to be. You see what I'm saying? Where do you think people like Andrew Tate or Kankale Samuel Kevin Samuels and all of these other type of brothers, where do they come from? They come from these kids that are growing up with their either without a father or with a father, or idolizing and role models. So now they have to, and every generation that they want to impress the older generation or do one step above the older generation, so they go that little bit harder. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Do you feel like and especially when it comes to women, and then looking at a man, about the one that's hard and got all his shit together. Now the one that's got all his not got his shit together, and we're gonna do this, okay, and almost agrees to everything. Agrees, and they'd rather be with that person as opposed to the one that always confronts him and says, hey, look, I'm not gonna do this.
Anyone catch you there. 99% of the time, and you can see this in movies too, the girls are attracted to the bad boy.
But then when it comes to I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it. Qof baa aragtay. Naga daaniyo.
No, I'm just looking around. I'm letting you speak.
They're attracted. No, they are attracted. They are attracted to the tough ones, the bad ones, and the ones that ain't gonna tolerate nothing. Gartay. But also, they like the one that will always agree to something. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like the ones
but they like that guy until they're done with that guy. Okay? Until they chew them up, they cut that in, then when you become too agreeable, because eventually it's like, I got this guy wrapped around my finger. You don't want to be the guy who's too agreeable.
That's what
you also don't want to be the guy who's too disagreeable all the time and always acting too hard. But that's the image we're seeing. And again, my problem is, it's not about who you should be, because everybody naturally, everyone has certain strengths. That they were masakin, that they were tough guys, that they were talkative, that they were kaftan miram. So offer personality be lane. I'm not telling you what personality you should have. What I think that's interesting to notice is how men are being portrayed in these movies, shows, cartoons, and these sort of things, which is having an effect on society today, if that makes sense.
Effect on all the kids, the
so now these kids are growing up in a certain way,
thinking,
certain households.
This is how it's supposed to be. And,
and that's why you're seeing so many divorces. That's why you're seeing so many people that are single at later stages in their life, because usually, back in the day, people were getting married before they hit their 20s. Then it became in their 20s. Now it's normal in the 30s and 40s. We live at there. Plus, and you can only see where it's going there, and eventually you get to a stage where
and do you know why though? Do you know why? Also, seeing your surroundings and seeing what's happening makes you, of course, also cautious as a man, thinking, hey, this is what's happening. Every time you hear some sort of a marriage story or here and here, you might take one step back and reevaluate certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if anyone is basing their life, kind of learn from others' mistakes. I get that. But you should also never base your own, someone else's experience with your own experience.
No, not all the... No,
to
a certain extent. Like
but then now you're living in fear. Right? As in, so many people in my surrounding, in my area, in my family, in my whatever, my groups of friends, whatever it is, are all getting divorced, so I stay away from marriage, is what you're saying. So now I'm scared.
You won't stay away, but you can also
You're hesitant.
Yeah. You'll take one step back just to reevaluate things.
That's fear.
And then you...
But is that not fair? That's literally the definition of fear is... Should we look at the definition of fear?
No, I'm not disagreeing.
So what I'm saying to you is, why live in fear? That's even worse. So my point is this, right? What about you right now, Sauda, actively, that rag hosla digayo, raganamadi la for whatever reason, to the point where now, hadalis with you, what is raganimo? Everyone has their own interpretation, opinions about it. There's some people that think if you're this tough, cold, almost robotic machine, that's when you're the man. And there's some people that think no, and you're spreading positivity and they're being a good guy all around. That's the guy. That's the
also but if you come on Kaira for a minute, if you experience, and this goes out to the women especially there, if you experience 1 or 2 or 3 men that you've spoken to, or even 4, and then you've experienced the same...
You shouldn't even be speaking to 3, 4 guys anyway, so we need to talk about that.
We got to discuss that. Let's say she's spoken to the first one, okay, now it's the next one, the next one, just in a space of time, whatever, and then you realize all these 4 are the same. And now, in your projection, you're thinking, you know what? They all like this, or they all like that, or they all like B, or they all like C. Does that make sense? As opposed to, where are you? Like,
but that goes back to
your experience. The places what have you experienced, and what's the reality? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that comes back to, where are you hanging out? What kind of energy are you putting out for you to attract? Because if a woman says, and we've had this conversation in an old episode, I forget which one it was, I'll link it down below, where the girl said we had not an interview, but we had a conversation on the podcast. Back when we actually had a studio and actually could invite people up. Now we're doing it in the car. Listen, man, you got to do what you got to do in it.
Yeah.
But studio soon come though, pending and that.
Pending, loading.
Mahankale.
We had one of the guests up.
Yes.
What episode was
so
that?
What I had today, we'll find that. What I had today, all men are trash. And I remember like it's yesterday. And every time I hear the heart, it always makes me wonder, what is it that's what is it that you're
makes
doing
you?
that attracts these trash men?
How?
Because there's plenty of great men out there. There's
you-
plenty of
are you
dintooda ka
collecting
baqanaya,
trash?
dhaqankooda garanaya sugo, dhaqankooda garanaya, shaqadooda ka adag, reerahooda ka adag, familygooda ku faraxsan yahay, alhamdulillah. There's plenty of beautiful human beings out here. Ninya Nagba that are doing amazing things that are maxaan ku rahdaye that are ready for marriage or for whatever. But like if you are over here attracting, or if you think all men ain't trash, I think you need to reevaluate what.
If you're thinking all men are trash, you mean?
If you're a woman who says all men are trash, or flip it on its head. If you're a man who thinks all women are hoes and whatever, you need to dip swag, and that's the beauty of this sort of thing, right?
Where are you fishing? What corner are you at?
Not even where you're fishing. Go look at yourself and analyze what is it about you that's attracting these type of people.
Because that goes back to our episode that we've done with the 5 steps. So again, Manhood.
Oh yeah. Go watch 5 tips to get any woman.
Yeah.
That one there is gonna set you up, man. And
nice.
each step now, I actually want to create its own episode so we can deep dive in each one. But like in other, right now, what we're talking about is why men are portrayed in a certain way, right? And in today's society, what the way society is today, what is a real man? That's where we are. To the point where it's this and that. Someone else is going to have a different opinion. And I don't mind that there's different variations of men. But there are certain things that everybody should be able to be in agreement with. Then whatever your personality is, whatever your path is in life or your purpose is in life, and that's where everybody's kind of free to roam. Everybody personality going away, and that's super duper clean too, and it makes sense. But the thing that don't make sense to me is the indirect war that goes against the Lawante. There it is. The indirect war against men, just trying to be men. And then you now what it's breeding is people like these who are hating women, who are saying all women should be treated like this or like that. I'm a hostile digger. That is completely like, I'm sorry, like any man, right? Or manta dinti haysto the dhaqankiisa haysta.
Can't go wrong.
It says
it can't go wrong.
It says she's made from your rib, right? So qoftii dhammeed that's fragile, made by your rib, ayaa lagu leeyahay mantana you gotta treat her like this, hold it down, you gotta and one thing is, let me tell you something, people that go you gotta womanize and have 20 on the go, those are people that are insecure. Shall I tell you why? What they're essentially saying is, let's say it's 20 different women, or you with 20 different women, no problem. If one of them does A, B, C, D, and you might want to get that checked out still, A, B, C, D, somehow, whatever it is, somehow that she does, you now have all the other ones you can fall back on. And what you're essentially saying is that you're not good enough for just one woman. I know they try to class it as you too good for so many, for just to have one. Not enough for nothing. It's music again.
It's foggy, isn't it? I think it's the windows. We turn the car on. No, it's still the same. Is it the sunlight?
I think it's the way the sunlight is kicking in.
Should we?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think that horror side of it, you should be clean.
Like that? Yeah, I think it's the sunlight.
I think it's not.
The sun, probably like 20 minutes.
I don't know, but it's calm. It's calm though.
Yeah, so I even forgot.
Okay, we just had to relocate. Do me a favor. So, can I call you?
Yeah. No. Mama, doing bad.
So, just in case. Why would you have a just in case if you're not gonna just in case it?
Because
I don't need to see it now. I just wanted to see how long we recorded for. عادي. شرط كان عادي هنا. عادي.
كبود. نوت.
Cupboard. We carry on. هنقعد لنا واحد men getting different labels, toxic, بلايا لوشيغا. Yigi now is swallowing a lot of them. So I get marka when it comes down to marka lagu leeyahay that you're this or you're that regular aya, sometimes I get it because they are set up in a way where wixii lagu caayay qabaan now, sadly. A lot of them. But there is still hope. I still believe that there is a non-toxic, normal man that can practice being a man and be proud and happy with being a man without it being weird in today's society. No, you can't bankulay as in minus lagu akhriya dadka. Is it? So outside of that, way jiran dad caadiya, and that should be promoted more instead of the right now orders being promoted is this
negative stuff. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I'll give you examples of wali, right? And I think these are some of the things that also dadku dhan wale, but in general. So back in the day, cartoon marka dadku daawadaan, they will go, oh, that burp was mine. That burp was crazy. I'm going
like see what's gonna happen. That one was crazy. We're going.
No.
Back in the days, huh?
Never mind. We'll cut that out.
The programs that we were watching back in the day.
So cartoonadi back in the day used to just be, you know, like fairy tale love stories, whatever, right? Have you? Well, I forgot the point, man. You threw me off. You
threw yourself off, Onika.
No, I said what that was crazy.
Man, bro.
No, they were saying I heard of that, and then there was like
I thought you were talking about yourself.
Burp, uncle, burp.
No, but I thought you were talking about yourself. I don't mind
I didn't
bro.
Burp, no. Okay, I thought you burped, and then there was a anyway.
This guy.
Point is this. Moving on. Point is this. Do you remember all the weird TV shows at one point? And then I think Jerry Springer. I don't know if it was the first one, but it was one of the first ones. Do you remember Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
The show there, Jerry, yeah.
Maury.
You are the father. Say wallahi.
There's Jerry Springer, Maury, Ricky Lake. That's an old one if you know about Ricky Lake. The UK version, I don't know how many there are, but I know that there's Jerry McCall. Trisha.
Come on, man.
I beg you, I can hear the. I shouldn't be able to hear the.
Trisha, come on, man. Trisha was
mad. But here's what I'm trying to say, right? The point of those shows and that obviously this is same thing people are trying to do now, trying to go viral. They're doing weird stuff on the internet. They're talking about their personal stuff. They're putting themselves out there. So that for fame and money and whatever they're integrity go the right? But even crazier than that, I feel like those old shows back in the day, and I'm sure some of them will saw that. I just know about these shows, but I was never, hey, let me sit down and watch this bullshit. But I always used to think, bahdilata. And it's not only raga, because Dumar Khata wala aibi, the family they wala aibi.
It was crazy.
Always some weird stories about stuff that you don't normally hear. And I think those shows are now almost everyday people on Instagram. You don't even need those shows now. You just get people out there talking about their personal business like no tomorrow.
She did that.
Exactly. Yo, my cousin did this. I got family members. What I used to me. That's keep you about there. What my guys are frapped. I don't know however you want to word that. And I think that's all part of wixii la soo waday beriya that wilina socotan now. And I think it's up to us. Excuse me. I think it's up to us to now notice. These things and promote a different image than the one that is being promoted, right? Because another issue is how many rap songs or movies or whatever do we have to hear and see? Somehow the most rap songs right now are the drill ones. Your mother goes and Wally and people dissing that in table, bro. Imagine what part of the game is that? You see what I'm saying? And that's what's being promoted because that's what's getting most of the views. That's what's being the cool thing. If so, I think the biggest issue is when there's two extremes. I'm aware and the guy who's the gangster street who's rapping about these weird stuff. There is the sheikh on the complete opposite end saying everything is haram and kadaya. But somehow, where is the middle ground for that? Where is the middle person that's not or too much of any sides, but they can also see what's happening. And want to talk and discuss these type of conversations. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that's where people like us could come in. Not that we're the ones saving this, but just more people like us. Everyday normal human beings that ain't too much that side, that ain't too much this side, that know their rights from their wrongs, but are not like scared to speak up. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I hope I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to say. I feel like there's an agenda 100%, but I don't think the answer is that can Illuminati like we have to go super hard now and be to this or to that. Too much of anything is not healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the answer. Why do you keep turning it on? Don't you want it off?
Look at it.
I'm just wondering. It's
probably going to make that sound, so sound can kill. I don't know.
Don't answer. I
don't even know what to say because this one is a bit. Do you get me? So I'm not. No. I'll let you hold the steering wheel on this because.
Now I'm the preacher. Come on, man.
Listen, I don't even know where to come in from this. Do you know what I mean? Because you pretty much have almost covered the basics there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm.
Do you have anything to add? Okay, here's a simple question. How do you feel about this topic? What have you noticed in your everyday family, friends, in your communities and whatever that you've noticed? How that they're growing up, etc. Do you think that there is an alternative that is not there, or that can one extreme to another? Like, what do you reckon?
Of course, yeah, but me growing up there, and the thing is,
lifestyle.
You growing up as a kid, but
I just said, what do you reckon? When I grew up,
I've agreed to pretty much what you said. There's not really much more to add there, because if there was a debate on this, then I would have said, well, can I get it now?
But do you reckon there is an issue there?
There's a big issue there, and being portrayed obviously in a negative way, and
What do you reckon is the solution?
The solution. What kind of solution?
What was the solution?
I
haven't given a solution. I've given suggestions, and I think
the solution here is obviously in the so whether that is the man or the woman. If men are getting portrayed in a certain way, do you know what I mean? And there's obviously good men around, but you just got to be at the right place to find those men and where you are hanging around with. So again, it also comes down to actual man. Self-development, but not all men are like that. And here's the thing as well, and when I say we, like there's good men out there that get things ruined because of how certain men are being portrayed. So nah, we're not going for this, or we're not going for that. You don't know nothing about this guy. So let's say she gets to know this guy, she doesn't even know nothing about him, but she's automatically already on
prejudged him.
So because of past experience, so this could come down to maybe the way he's dressed. So you could have a guy that has a tracksuit, do-rag on, but she probably has had a guy who had a tracksuit, the do-rag on, or now she meets another one who's got a do-rag and a tracksuit on. But he could be a good guy, he could be the calm guy, do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of prejudgment. So I feel like, number one, measure the where you're hanging around with is super, super important. And also number two, the prejudgment, get to know the person first before you actually judge. No one should be judging anyways. And yeah, man.
How about what? But so Hadad, what we were talking about. What is Ilan? That doesn't. You're saying,
but you said a lot there.
No. I'm trying to tie it back in because right now, women shouldn't prejudge men, and the prejudgment comes from other experiences that they've had. But that doesn't really. But how do you tie that back into the fact that men is being put in a bad light? Because if anyone with a tracksuit, there's a prejudice that come with that. Like as in, all men in tracksuits must be doing A, B, C, D, F, G. There's a reason for that, especially if it's coming from her experience. So she can't be faulted for that. That's not her fault. You can't go, well, you have to give him a chance. What if she has and she got in trouble, or she got hurt, or she got mentally, physically, whatever? Then the solution is not, you should don't prejudge people. You should prejudge people because it's for your own safety sometimes. Like you should be aware, have that awareness. That doesn't really help in terms of why that doesn't help in terms of men being portrayed in a bad light, because that one ragas and marka. And when you see 20 people that are completely different people that all were in tracksuits, all doing certain things, and then now you go, well, I guess most people they must all be doing this. That's like saying anyone who's in a murfish must be chewing. Yeah, it would be weird if they weren't chewing.
And it's an example. Obviously, it doesn't have to be the dress code, but you see where I'm getting at. If and also as a kid, I think it's also important as a kid the environment that you grow up in, or some of the things that you're watching, or
I'm just challenging what you're saying. I'm challenging what you're saying.
I get it.
And I want you to be able to tie it in
and being exposed to especially being exposed to certain things. So if you have parents, if you've grown up in like, you know, a house where you've constantly had parents arguing, or your pops being always portrayed in a bad light, or you're watching shows like you said where these men are being portrayed in a bad light, then like that.
What if your pops was or fits the image of this thing, this bad guy? What if, like, not for nothing, all our dads were just human beings. What if your dad walk on these things, and that's what you've grown up with? Then it's hard for you to see other things.
Exactly.
The day that kid now wants to see something else, or wants to be somebody else, he might have clocked, my dad wasn't the guy. I want to try find another role model. But then the role models, it's going to be either the mandem, it's going to be completely the other opposite end of it. So it's like, where is
if my pops was like that, then I'll know, obviously, like, oh, hey, look, moving forward.
What if you think that's normal? Then you would never know. Imagine growing up thinking, but let's say there's a Odey who beats his wife. Example.
So,
that kid grows up and thinks that's normal.
That's normal, sir.
And it was subtle, it was in a certain way, it wasn't these days, I'm gonna say overly dramatized where there's something big happened and it's like, but it was just something that casually happened here and there. It was a light one. We regularly in the morning, geek stuff, it's not even a laughing matter. But if that is what the kid grew up in and he saw that as normal, and the mom accepted that, and that's how maybe her parents, whatever. A mantata's normal tahay, that kid will never see that as anything that's not normal.
Do you think that will go for every kid that's been raised in that environment?
No. First of all, it's hard to never generalize. You got kids that are grown up in sheikh households, as in mom and dad were the most religious people, and you got kids that literally, I know personally, Somali mom that was clubbing, and her door today is like, mashallah. Make sense? But more importantly,
is it still recording?
Yeah, it's recording. I don't know, man. This new camera here, one is fam. I like what the point is this. That's what qadar Allah. Somehow, and you can't generalize and say just because you grew up like that, I was giving you one example. I said if this kid grew up like that and always thought that I was normal, it's very hard for that kid to now think something else is, you know what I mean? And it's anything else different. And that man to Muslim and you grow up, it's very hard for you to, in your mind, for you to be able to go, like, because you've been conditioned for all of those years, alhamdulillah, in a Muslim time, and either in a good or a bad way. So now it's very hard for you to just
Yeah.
Alright, we have to switch cameras. Be honest and switch the camera, fam.
Yeah. We're here.
More importantly, you said something now when the cameras was off.
But no, do you know what I'm saying? Like, for the first time, because I always have things to say, I always challenge you or ask you questions. But this is probably like one of the first, if not the first, topic or episode where I don't really have much of an input, because, bro, not many. I haven't even heard anyone talking about stuff like this, whether it's on YouTube or even in real life. We don't.
I've heard it,
but I haven't. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
but the biggest problem is
where do I even come in?
But these sort of things, the problem is everyone has an angle. And either it's all women's fault, it's all other dudes' fault, people are hating on each other, it's a race thing, it's a religious thing, political thing. As in, Kofaba has an agenda. So when you do hear these type of conversations, it's usually coming from one-sided people. It's not off there as a whole. It's coming from someone who's saying that this is why, so we're running with that.
But even just saying, well, how comes men are being portrayed in a bad image, or even like, you know what I mean?
We never heard that.
In a negative. I'm saying in this way, that the way you've elaborated. How come people
I
don't...
sound like I'm a genius. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but how come
I'm not
no
gonna lie.
one really like...
I'm borderline a genius, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not a genius like Kanye West, man.
No, but how comes, like, do you get me? Like, people don't really talk, and I want to be
You're not allowed
involved in
to.
episodes
You're not
like
allowed
this.
to talk. No, you're not allowed to talk about it. It's awkward. It's weird. That's why I'm saying that's the problem.
It's a very... You see how quiet I was? Because I didn't know. Bro.
It's hard to get. Once I'm
if
in
I
the
could
zone.
take notes right now, I would have. But you know what I mean. I'll take the notes after the episode. No, I'll take it afterwards. I'll take it down. You know what I mean? I'll take it afterwards. So this is why it's heavy.
So where do you think
it's
from
very,
here?
very heavy. Do you know what I mean?
What does it make
Hence
you feel?
why when you ask me what could be the solution there, but I'm just
We're not looking for a solution because there is never one solution to these sort of problems. It's because it's a bunch of problems. So there's a bunch of solutions. But I think is a conversation, is to recognize and to recognize that they have their own agenda or their own mission. So I would just love to see a conversation that is not one-sided, that is not
different side and stuff like that.
So it's not just talking about this or just talking about that, where it's talking about the thing as a whole, the issue, and then from there you can then start to the deep dive.
My glass was all plastic.
It's a bottle top. But like in how so what I would love to see is the conversations being had and people kind of they're recognizing and clocking the wahan in each other, and then slowly nin nag gal Muslim the family, single, whatever you are, like to think back on their own experiences with this sort of thing. Is it true? Challenge your mind sometimes and think to yourself, is this true or not? Start noticing things, start speaking to your own the people and your own tribes and your communities, and only then can the right questions be asked and go in the direction that is good for everybody, and not just men or not just women or not just families, but for everybody as a whole, as a society. And that's why I'm saying it's not just something that law solve has one answer.
Of course.
It's a bigger.
Does it come into play to hold yourself accountable, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman? You know what I mean?
But like I said to you before, in a month, it's going to be hard for you to explain to that kid or for him to at some point clock it. Maybe he'll clock it when it's too late. Maybe he will carry that on, and that will keep going for generations to come until someone gets arrested or but it's hard for it's like Manta, you try to tell your little brother who's in his teenage years or they're from birth till now, not a Muslim household to kind of look into Christianity. It's very strange, it's an awkward conversation, and it's not something that so therefore is just naturally gonna first, if that makes sense.
Hey guys, I'm part of the viewers today. I'm not even part of the episode. I'm actually watching the episode. I know you guys star one of ya. Yeah. I'm just part of the viewers. I ain't had.
Forget all that. We got too serious, man.
Yeah.
What's baby girl saying now?
The baby girl always baby girl, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's always, like something.
You know what I mean? Baby girl always baby girl.
Good.
You know what I mean? Everything blessed.
Calm. Okay.
But just to wrap this up.
Nah, don't wrap it up.
Because you don't want me to wrap it up.
Nah, leave it there. Let it flow. And if someone wants to, let it flow above us. Yeah. But more importantly, chat to me about baby girl. Talk to me about love. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've hinted a few episodes now. I'm gonna put it out there, bro, and it's not to put your business out there. Rakim is in love, okay? And it's like a proper love story.
This guy is pressing. Pressing.
Let me say you up next. You don't have to say nothing. Good guy, finally fell in love. We're so happy for him. What happened? And we're talking there flowers.
This guy's talking about flowers.
They said that flowers and box of chocolate type love there. This is every fairy tale architect on
relax. It's not that deep, guys. You know what I mean? We're not there.
If you could blush right now, Nick, and he'll be red right now.
I'm red already. Mahaba, can't you see?
Trust me, man.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask you one question. For anyone who's viewing right now who's thinking, yo, mashallah, Allahumma barik, good for you, Rakim, what? You know what I mean? You're in love. How does it feel to be in love? So can you put some words to it? I know you can't even describe.
This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not in love there. Now I've got to tell you straight.
Now I have to get. See, this is when it gets. I'm setting you up calm, and then you don't dunk it. All you had to do was say, yeah, bro, you know what? Being in love is like being high on freaking, you know what I mean? You're floating, you are every day. The grass is greener, the flowers are more red.
The grass is green on the other side.
Okay, Maya, don't worry, he's not in love. His friend is in love, and the way he describes it, the way his friend described it is, he goes, "Listen, when I'm walking down the street, literally the same street every day in Waregi today, they used to be dark and grey. Oh
yeah.
Hidigihi at night time.
Now you can
describe love. Well, carry on. Let me describe it. I'm gonna describe it. For his friend. Yeah, go on. How did your friend describe it?
You know what I mean? Go on. Oh, the moon. For anyone that doesn't know what Dayah is, or crossing over. Yeah.
Hey, that reminds me. If I've got a funny little episode that we did the other day with the Somali language and Somali words that are funny, so we're gonna throw that up. Like, I'm gonna upload that as a random little episode, you know, maybe like 10-15 minute long video where catch some of those jokes. It's funny. We get into weird sounding Somali words, but that's because oh yeah, we did a little funny thing there. I'm gonna get that uploaded ASAP. But more importantly, talk to me about your friend who's in love. How does he describe it? It's almost like the sun is still shining. Yeah. He hasn't seen a cloud in the sky since he fell in love. Had the rob every day. Winter. How does food taste?
Yeah. waxaanu cuni jirin buu cilaay markaa
warsuugada sabaayada saa isugu wareejiyo. How does it taste, bro?
Duufka sanka ka soo daa for no reason.
Why does it have to be doof? We talk about food, fam.
Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something.
But it's got to be about love. Don't chat to me about yeah, man.
Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something.
Go on.
All that relationship, we in a relationship, waxyaalaha. They don't believe in that, bro. I don't believe in relationship, bro.
What do you believe in?
For me.
Go on. What do you believe in, Marka? You don't believe in that.
Unless you could see, or let me speak for me, unless I can see potential in that person. You know what I mean? Potential wife material.
But how do you get to that point? Okay, so talk me through it. You said you don't believe in relationships, so you need to explain to me what you believe in instead.
Okay.
If you find potential in someone, what do you believe in, Maka? What's it called?
I call it, you know, putting the ring on it. I call it marriage. I call it.
But from zero to marriage, how the hell?
No, of course. But I then what do you believe in? So I'm giving you the answer.
You believe in marriage?
Now, what I'm saying is, if for example, if I get to know someone, it's gotta be for the purpose of, okay, can I see this person? Can I see that person?
But that's one part of a bigger thing. So that thing,
first you get to know the person.
But is that not part of a relationship?
No,
you get to know
relationship.
You build towards marriage.
Talking stage me,
Yeah, but no, like look, now you're getting technical. Look, listen to this, Here is marriage. Here is hello, how are you? It's called a relationship, but it's different stages to the relationship.
Exactly. Okay, let me.
But talk to me about love, though.
Relationship,
so when you fall in love,
wasting time on relationship. A year, 2 year, 3 year relationship. This is what I mean by. I don't really believe in that.
Break it down. Break it down. In those 1-2 years that you don't want to waste, what part of it is the waste? Just the time? What if you're having great conversations and like they're gonna say you don't feel like it's being rushed and you really want to take your time and it takes a year or two to get there? Why would that be a waste of time?
That's calm, but when it comes to relationship, and it's not.
What's a Malayan relationship? Chat to me. Give me one example.
One example is every day, just just doing the same old thing. Meeting up, going out for dinner, going out incident, just talking every single night on the phone.
Hey, let me break it down.
Let me break it down. I don't even believe in that, bro.
Let me break it down. Here's what Hukadale Rakim. Okay? And this is a public service announcement to all the
quick
galleys.
Disclaimer, put it in a red.
To all the gallem, right? Hukadale taking you lot out. Munching. Somehow driving you, picking you up, paying for the meal, dessert. Can I have a drink? Somehow a couple of mocktails and that, yeah. He's tired.
No, do you know what it is, yeah?
No more ice cream souffles.
Do you know what
that was? He looking for? Hey, why would you call the neighborhood and right next to people sitting in cars and there's so much space over there? What are we weirdos for sitting in a car chatting to a camera? Anyway, well, I can't see that. Can I imsi chat van ka for any? Marda ma do for hammer ka wan qaada ano wala bazina van wan qaada.
You know what I mean? Or mesh mu tagay talo.
It says let and managed by those. What they is? I know a friend of mine, a very, very, very close friend of mine.
A friend of yours.
He's in love.
Oh yeah.
Bro, Ninky one way. I barely. What we went from speaking maybe once, maybe twice a day, here and there, checking in. Yo, boom, to I might not see him for multiple days in a row. Maybe weeks at a time sometimes.
I'm getting a bit iffy, man.
So nowadays I'm a bit hardly hearing from him. And then when I'm good, I'm right here.
You might be carrying the iPhone. Well, listen, go on.
No, my friend of mine is in love. Go there. The food, it tastes different. The same anchero every morning, bro. It's now it is tasting like the greatest food on earth. Think of whatever your favorite meal is on this earth. That's what it's tasting like, right? He goes, Adar. Don't even smell like it used to. Bro, these times, imagine, bro, you know, like a clean unse. That's him 7 days a week, 24/7, wherever he goes. He might go Tesco's and it might just smell like unse in there. And I go, what? So your nose is constantly smelling unse. Your eyes, all the colors are just vibrant. Everything is
for no reason, is it?
So dalala.
Manuva wa anyway, liba.
Dalala, give you some.
So the one.
You do it. We talking about you do it.
Hard there. I know that for no reason. Don't play that he's not near. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm back. I'm here. I'm parked up.
I'm here, brother. Is it for Abdul? There's always delivery.
What name you looking for? I can lost there. What I can for finally your parcel. How do you not know? You know, usually.
Relax. I'm a and be prepared for whatever. I'm gonna relax.
How do you not know, bro? This is what 5-6.
Sometimes
it says number 5 on it.
Okay, I will help you. Huh? Sometimes people don't write the right addresses on when they order stuff. I do that all the time. If I'm ordering quick somewhere, I might write 54 when it should have been. You know what I mean?
55.
Or later, someone will know if I'm in a rush and that. Anyway,
hey,
let me tell you about this friend of mine, bro. But like do you know what it is? Yeah. Now our relationship is struggling.
You saying sour ben?
Oh man, like I'm not a hater, so I'm there, happy for my boy. I'm ringside, like yo,
let's go.
Like I think we got blah. He's like, yo, bro, like, well, we up with baby girl is telling me this and that. I ain't even got time like that no more. Why does mention neighbor man? You know what I'm saying? We used to chill in the car and record videos. Now he's telling me, yo, he ain't got time like that no more.
But where did he go?
Orange hat, we say these times. Fucking. So I'm just trying to get my friend back, but I want to meet in the middle.
He's here.
So baby girl,
your friend is back.
Baby girl, I'm not waking. Meet me somewhere in the middle. Baby girl, but don't stay over there not too much. Meet me in the middle somewhere.
I've been too close to baby girl a bit too much, Leo.
I think I'm mad there. My best friend.
Ask him to meet you somewhere in the middle. Ninka, don't worry about him.
Let me tell you his name. Okay, I'm gonna put his name out there because at first once loud indirectly. But listen, it's not even you, bro. My best friend's name Morris, but I call that. I don't know if you know that guy. Nah.
White guys.
Why? He's a white guy.
White guy.
Some white guy. But like, listen, I want to see my friend
somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
I've said that to him, bro. Like in Imika, last thing I did was Imika send a text, didn't work. Called him, didn't work. Email, هذا بشيء ورقدي واتن رويال ميلك سترايك كجرتو ورقدي ما قاريسو
text كي ما قاريو
text كي دوا bounce back
he doesn't even call you back
gift back all by go text so now he's holding me back from being great so maxaa haday hada shimbiriyaro uraysa and look to who laabay a little message you know those pigeons that beri hore they used to pass messages look to where
waraaqir
so shimbirti is like knocking on his window right now but hopefully I'll get a message back at that. Hopefully I'll get my friend back, man. Because my friend
if he gets married, you know what I mean?
Bro, if he gets married, I'll be happy for him. But like, how can I meet you? I'm not busy that day, and if he, I'm joking. If he allows me to be, pause. If he allows me to be, my best shot, I can also buy at the basement.
Keep him bent out there. Don't
one car with any, look steam and that, look car with this. I'm there. But like, let's get our friend back first. You get what I'm saying? I want to start a petition. You know, like a GoFundMe. GoFundMe, okay,
but voting.
I want to do a GoFundMe or collab, but without money, just votes.
Just votes.
Just to get my friend back.
Who wants to see?
That's why I say.
I know حسري you know what yeah but guys if you want to see him back drop a comment in the you know what I mean drop a comment I didn't send also but yeah
I done also
I do also did I say I do also
nah man got a big dog what can I see that so it's a BAU podcast episode 41 man let men be men peace